Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is such a wonderful evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to District 43. For those of you that are joining us outside of District 43, welcome to our district. We are extremely excited tonight for the first of many, our PR Power Series this year that is led by our fabulous public relations team. With no further ado, I would love to relinquish the virtual lectern to our public relations manager, Toastmaster, soon to be distinguished Toastmaster, Erica May, who is a Toastmasters enthusiast. She's been a member of Toastmasters for 11 years over two different states in two different districts. She is a published writer, professional speaker, and an instructor. District 43 and guest, please give it up for our public relations manager, Toastmaster, Erica May. Over to you, Erica.
Thank you, Madam District Director. And again, we want to thank everyone here from District 43. And if you are not from District 43, go ahead and drop it in the chat where you're from, what district you're from, and where you are joining us from. I know I saw Nikita, and I think she's joining us from the UK. I want to tell you hello. It is 1 a.m. where she is, so we thank you for coming out. We have a lot to pack into this hour, so we'll go over the logistics. The agenda is in the chat. We're going to drop the agenda in the chat. If you have a question that cannot wait until the QA period, drop it in the chat, and I, along with the district director, we will be monitoring the chat. During Q&A, we will take questions from the chat, but if you want to come off mute and ask your question, that's fine as well. Put the reaction to raise your hand, and we will recognize you and invite you to come off mute. The word of the day is Toastmasters savant. Savant is a person who knows a lot about a particular subject, or a person who is well learned or skilled in one area. To use it in a sentence, Stevie Wonder, he plays multiple instruments. He is a songwriter, a singer, and a composer. He is a musical savant. If you find yourself speaking during the meeting, try to incorporate that into your speech. One of the reasons I was inspired to host this training is because of my role in public relations is to promote and to protect the Toastmasters brand. Well, we as members, we are the strongest component of the brand. So we must make sure that we're representing communications, excellence, and leadership. We need to make sure we are representing Toastmasters well. I had the pleasure to attend one of Joyce's trainings in another district. There were about 40 people in the training. It was 2 hours and everyone was engaged. She kept us captivated throughout. So I can assure you, you are in for a treat. Now I'll go ahead and introduce her. Joyce Feustel is a LinkedIn trainer, tutor, and presenter who knows how to make LinkedIn simple, easy, and fun. She went full-time with her Boomers social media tutor business in March 2013. And even though she specializes in the baby boomer demographic, she captured my millennial heart. Originally from Wisconsin, she now lives in Denver. Let's welcome Joyce, a true LinkedIn savant and a 5-time distinguished Toastmaster, with her workshop, Using LinkedIn to Showcase Yourself and Your Toastmasters Club. Joyce, the virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you so much, Erica. It's such an honor when I have people under the age of 55 saying they learned a lot from me. I get that a lot. You have to have a niche, though. If any of you have a business, you know how important it is to have a target market. Just a tiny bit about my life in Toastmasters. I have 27 years as of January. I've been in Jackie's shoes back in the 2000s, was in the trio. I've been a club retention chair. We had kind of a crappy year, I'll be honest. I'm not that proud about 506, but I've given back to my district as the club retention chair, social media chair. But then I kind of retired in 2013 because that's when I went full-time with my business. So I wasn't like only doing my day job and then my life was Toastmasters. Now I have two lives. I have my business and I still have my Toastmasters life, just not at the district level. Well, tonight what we're going to be doing is focusing mainly on the profile and how you can use it to showcase yourself as a leader, as a speaker, as a Toastmaster. I'm going to also go a bit into connecting with other people and into posting, a little bit on posting. Now, there are 4 people who were brave enough to let me share some feedback with them in front of all of you. I told my husband about this. He even heard me practicing. He said, oh my gosh, I think you're a little hard on that person. I said, honey, they're a Toastmaster. They can handle it. I know they can. So I give feedback with love. And yet it's also that kind of mom speak, like, okay, let me tell you as it is, honey, So now we'll be going into the profile. And again, this first part that I'm doing will be my profile. Then we'll get to the critiques. So the first thing to look at is the picture. I will admit right this moment, I skated by for 9 long years on one picture. Good skincare kind of kept me going, but really, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't get one earlier. This picture is a little out there, but so am I, right? So think about how you just come across, what people say, I like your energy or whatever it might be. Your headshot should depict that. You don't have to go and pay a bunch of money. You can do it, just with a smartphone. But that is a paid for headshot. Then this area up here, the background, or sometimes they call it the cover photo, is so much real estate to work with. A picture of you speaking, perhaps. A picture of you leading a discussion. Could be a lot of things. If you have your own business, then you have your logo, something like that. Here's an ebook I wrote. So there's a lot of areas that you can put sort of a montage together, or maybe just a beautiful photograph or a landscape of one of your favorite places. Now, your name is pretty basic, but if you had different names, you could always have like a maiden name, or maybe a previous, when you were married once before, and now you have a new name, whatever it might be. This here is the, what's called the profile headline, I'm sorry. It has 220 characters max. You might not want to use all the characters. Mine is pretty much close to 220. I snuck avid Toastmaster in there, though I rather like Toastmaster enthusiast. Maybe I'll switch that out. I have what I do. I have training and presenting. It's a little different. I have that I'm, who I work with a lot. I have that I'm highly recommended through LinkedIn, and my tagline. You may have seen these hashtags. Maybe you use them yourself. But if you're wondering about them, how people get to use them, you know what? They've gone down to the creator mode, right down in here. It's not too far. I went too far already. See resources, and yours might say off, right? So what you do is you click on it and you just follow the steps, very easy. And you can put in 5 hashtag terms. Now you can say practically anything, but I would say within propriety, of course, but it should be something that really speaks to you. So what you've got here is something that complements what you say right above. But keep in mind that when people see you, that nanosecond, when they're making a decision whether to connect or not, they do not see the hashtags. They only see the headline, your first and last name, and your picture. So going down then, one more thing. You may wonder, how did you get your website to be hyperlinked right there? Like, very cool. I just had to be in creator mode. That's how I get my hashtags. Then I went over to this pencil. I went down to the bottom, and then I clicked on the custom button, and I put in my business website. You can also do an override, something like book me to speak for your group. I mean, it has to be 30 characters, so it's pretty succinct. Now I want to show you contact information. Here you can have up to 3 websites. But let's first talk about the URL. What is the URL? Going back to Erica's point about branding, it's an opportunity for you to brand yourself in whatever way you do. You could have Toastmasters involved in this, and this is what appears at the top, way at the very top of your profile. Whatever, just depends. You have up to 100 characters to put in this area. So you just click on this little pencil, and that's how you can go in and get rid of all those random letters and numbers that might be there right now. And one more thing, when we're in this edit screen, scooch down and make sure that this green circle here with the white inside is right by public, not by the other options, and that all of your sections display. This email, this is tricky. It's the one that you would be using for business, but maybe that's not the one you use for Toastmasters. Only one email can display, so you need to think about that. If you were a job seeker, I would use the one on your resume. If you were a business person, I would use your work email, probably, but you could also use a district email. It really varies depending on where you are with your Toastmasters service. Phone number you can have is not necessary, but here's where you go in, and then you would put whatever, like, for example, if I was saying, like, if I was District Director Jackie, I would have, instead of toastmasters.org, I would have your district website there.
Just save me a piece of cake.
Do we need somebody to turn off their sound? Yeah, so hopefully that can happen here. And so that's a meetup group I run. But I thought I could just show you now, the thing with this, people do have to click into here to see these hyperlinks, just so you know. Again, make a note of your questions as we go marching along here, because I want to make use of my 25 minutes the best I can. Next, I want to show you featured. Now, look what I featured, this very post that Erica May did. Hello. So I see this post she did, and I'll show you a little bit how to repost. So there is it from Erica. So I reposted it, and it got to be then eligible, I'll call it, to be featured. So you say to me, well, wait a minute, Joyce, how do you feature? I don't have anything in featured. Well, you go up to add profile section. And so many people don't have all the sections added they could add. You have what they call the core, or recently I see it now as essentials. But here's where you go to recommended, and that's where the featured can be enabled, that section. And when we do that, this kind of the behind the scenes look, you would just see a plus. You wouldn't, of course, see anything featured yet. You can feature a post, a newsletter issue if you have a LinkedIn branded newsletter, an article, a longer version of a post, a link maybe to, I don't know, your YouTube video, something like that. Media means a still picture or like a PowerPoint. So I chose to feature this. Now I'm going to take it down after tonight because this event is over. I was at Startup Week. Maybe you have something like that. Those, like, say, in the Memphis area or larger metro areas. I was a speaker there. So that was a neat experience. But this is the one I especially want to show you. This is where I met Erica virtually, because it was a hybrid meeting with about 40, like she said, people there, some in person and some came in from afar, like she did. And this is one of the best pictures, I think, taken of me in a speaking environment where there's the MC and me. I'm just looking at him like he's my son. I adore him. I think he's probably too old to be my son. But I've known this man over 20 years, and I do love him like a son, brother, whatever he is. And I had such a good experience. So I wrote a whole blog post about it. It got a lot of play. It got over 2,000 views, this particular LinkedIn post, which is quite remarkable because when you take people off of LinkedIn, you usually don't get that kind of traction. LinkedIn doesn't like it when you have a link to take them away. Okay, so now I'm going to move down and talk a little bit about the about. The about is very challenging. Because even though we're Toastmasters, right? And we should by now be able to brag ourselves up. Well, maybe not brag, but be our own cheerleader. We've given talks about ourselves. We've done icebreakers. We should be able to do this in writing, but still it's hard even for us. Well, think about what you can do to inform people so they know whether they should keep learning about you. If you think of it as being of service, not just being your all that, that's an important way to frame it. So I talk about myself, but then watch this, folks. You can add testimonials if you want. You can have that social proof, right? That's what people go to Google reviews or anything else, Yelp. So people can write you, these are two clients, positive things. Might have to come from my recommendations, but you might have great testimonials that come from people who've written you an email, a love note, a handwritten note you carry around in your purse because it cheers you up or something. But ask that person, could I please use that note from you on LinkedIn? Can't imagine they'd say no. And then here, your skills should be very, very top skills you want to be associated, especially if they relate, of course, to the speaking and leading that Toastmasters is all about. So then when we get to, and I like to write in the first person voice. I feel like that's the most natural voice to use for telling the story of you. Now, down in experience, I keep staying in the first person voice. Sometimes you'll see more, I would call it the resume speak, the declarative voice to go, I was an English major, so I can throw out these words. But it's up to you how you want to handle that. But whereas the about is more the holistic picture of you, kind of a high level, then this is more like, what do you do for people? Like, for example, one of the people who I'm going to be reviewing, I have my notes here, is, got it. She had, there it is, not Feustel, but it's Mona. Yeah, Mona Doggett Wilson, right? She has her own business. So she would be talking about the services she offers, which she does in her profile. You'll see. So again, you could have more another testimonials. Here you can have, like, this is a link to a video. There's a PowerPoint. So as with featured, you can put some more things in to really get some color and energy. Because otherwise, I mean, let's face it, LinkedIn is boring. It is really boring. So you have to do everything you can to jazz it up and give it some life and sparkle. Now, I want to show you how you can add a leadership role. Well, right here, this is the leadership role right there, my board member. You just put it in as in the experience section. Okay, so you weren't paid for it, but as I've told you, I've done a lot of higher level leadership roles and Toastmasters, and they've been far more responsible than most of the jobs I've had in terms of people reporting to me and, you know, what I was, you know, what was where the buck stops here kind of thing. So I'll show you what I did. Remember, I think if you may recall, I told you I was a social media chair. So that was in an interesting era when, you know, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, they were just sort of rolling out and getting more accepted. So I headed up a team that worked with our district social media. And then before that is when I was the club coaching chair, which is the equivalent really of club retention. And then I was the district governor, which now, of course, is like district director, what Miss Jackie's doing. So that's how you do it. Now, in retrospect, I probably should put the districts, I should affiliate these with the districts page rather than Toastmasters International. But let's say you're the VP of Ed of your club. I mean, that's a big responsibility. I say, why not put it in there? But let's say your club doesn't have a company page. Well, then just use Toastmasters International. Just say like Vice President Timberline Toastmasters, and then I'd be affiliated with, you know, my Timberline. But with Toastmasters, it would be the employer, so to speak, the company. Okay, well, let's skip education. That's pretty straightforward. Now, some people, I've seen them put their DTM in here, but that was a grammar. Anybody listening for grammar, that was a grammatical error I just made. But skip that. So I say put it in another place. I'll show you in a minute. So here, Erica May, this is what I was telling you. These whole series that you're doing with all these different programs, make a project out of that. And then you could include, say, District Director Jackie in on that, and anybody else, including me, heck, any of your speakers, presenters, could all be part of this series that your district is putting on under your direction. See how you can add these? They're called a contributor. That's really cool. You just have to be connected on LinkedIn, though. You can't just drop any old person's name in there. Now, I want to show you how I've handled volunteering. Because if I'm not careful, I could have all these things I did for districts, for Toastmasters, overwhelm my LinkedIn profile. You know, that was a decade or two ago. That's not exactly relevant too much anymore. I mean, in a sense. So see what I've done is I've aggregated, see my district roles from 2001 up to 13, or down to 13, however you want to look at it. And then now I tell you what I'm doing in the 3 clubs that I'm currently part of, where I'm an officer, actually more than one in a couple clubs. So that's how I show my current involvement. Now, what I could do, let me show you something kind of cool. If it was really important that I had this be higher, to be back up, this is very interesting. You can go here and move things around in your volunteer section, even if they're over. So let's say I wanted to give more play. See this now? So when you go to volunteering, it's the first thing you'll see. So it's something to think about. Even if it's over, you can still have it up and higher. Just saying, I'll leave it there for now. Skills are pretty straightforward. Though if you want to move around, speaking of moving things around, click on the pencil, click on the 3 dots, and then reorder. So say you recently added a skill, it's automatically going to be right up here at the top, but you're going to say, wait, that's not my most important skill. That's maybe 5th or 6th or 10th most important. So if you just move these little, like hamburger lines around to get the skills where they're supposed to be. Now, let me show you how recommendations can come into play. Again, good branding for Toastmasters. You only get to be recommended for something if you have it in the experience section. I don't think I mentioned that before. So why put these volunteer positions in experience? A, to get better visibility to the Toastmasters or other nonprofit organization where you've been a leader, and B, to get recommended. So how I ended up here tonight is because Chris Poole from Wisconsin, who I've been on LinkedIn with since, get this, 09, we just kind of randomly follow each other a little bit on LinkedIn, and she had a cancellation for a talk that needed to be given on the first Saturday in August. And she reached out to me, get this, by LinkedIn messaging. She didn't email me, no, LinkedIn messaging. Good thing I track on that. Hey, would I be available in 2 days to do a talk, basically like I'm doing tonight? Oh, no problem, Chris. I can probably work that up. So I show up at this virtual club that Chris is VP of Ed for, and who should show up there but this guy, Rich, who's from my own home district here in Colorado, Wyoming. And he just had never seen me present before like this. And he was like blown away. And we've known each other forever. He goes, oh, I want you to do a workshop for my club. And then that's how I met Erica. So I say, when you ask to do something, say yes. I mean, in general, there are limits. So recommendations are important. Now, maybe you've written a publication. I bet you have, Jackie. You know, things for your own district publication. Probably you have to. Probably you have a column or something. So if you've written things for the website or newsletter, at work, so you could put those in. I have one of those here. Professional development courses you've taken. This is where the Distinguished Toastmaster goes, in my opinion. See here, that's where I list my 5 DTMs. I figure, you know, every time you have a year of service, you may as well get a DTM out of it. So Jackie's like, you're out of your mind, you know, right? As I said, I had day jobs that weren't that important to me. So I just did all this Toastmaster stuff. Yeah, every time I open my mouth, you know, I'd say, evaluate me. This could be for a district project. And this was so meaningful, and I actually lobbied for this. I was named the District 26 Toastmaster of the Year. And if you ever get to be that kind of Lifetime Achievement Award, I'm sure you deserve it, because it shows how much you care about Toastmasters. And then as we're wrapping up here in this part of my presentation, here again, you have organizations. Here, if you're maybe just kind of nominally involved, you can include it. But I have that same information that I have up in volunteering back down in here in organizations. You never know. You just never know where people are going to read things or not. No one's going to read this stuff, you know, word for word. So make sure you're keeping track of your questions, because this is the point where I'm going to shift over into, I was hoping I might get somebody want to connect with me. Oh, he's somebody out there. District Director Jackie, you look like you're friendly. Reach out to me, will you? And ask me to connect with you on LinkedIn if you can pull that off. And we'll come back to this section in a minute. Thank you for being so, you know, such a good audience member there. So meanwhile, let's move on. And we'll swing back into connection with people. And now, I don't know if anybody else has got that handout going along with them, but I'm over on page 2, and I'm going to actually page 3, and I'm going to go into inviting. Okay, so now while we're waiting for Jackie to send me an invite, I'm going to invite somebody I happen to just stumble across, whose name is Tulia. Kind of like Julia, but Tulia. Here she is. Tulia. Oops. Okay. No, I got an extra letter in there. Okay, here she is. Now, notice this, folks. When you have creator mode enabled and someone finds you, they will not see the connect button. They won't. They will see follow. They will only see follow. And you might think, well, wait, Julia, I just met her at this event. Oh, it doesn't let me ask to connect. I can, oh, look at Jackie, I'm asking. This is so perfect. This is that's so funny. Yes, so watch this. This is what you do, Jackie, my friend. Okay, so you go over here to the more. Watch carefully here on hers. And when I go to here, this is how you get to connect. And I believe, just try it. Hopefully you'll you know, I don't have it blocked or anything, but if you click on more to the right of follow, there it is. Ooh, and then you would write a note. Now, of course, I guess I bet you I got to connect with this Tulia, right? So, hey, Tulia, found you on LinkedIn. And yeah. And I see we have a lot in common. This is really totally a table topic. Regarding speaking and communication. Let's connect. Okay, that's like totally lame. But at any rate, there we have that. So I just want you not to, but here on the flip side of it, when you have your creator mode enabled, The main thing you got to remember to do is go up to your notifications, because say Jackie had just followed me, right? And then they would say, Jackie has followed you. So I'm like, oh, who's this Jackie? I better find out who this is. So that way I am pinged. But now I can go over here to my network, and there she is. Oh, yay. So Martin is following me. Okay, this is perfect. See, that's what it looks like. Follow me, invite you to connect. If they get that far. So I would then, if he hadn't done that, let me show you something really quick. See all 5? So now let's say Michelle, of course, I know a lot about you because you're one of those 4 people, but let's pretend I don't. I might say, oh, Michelle, well, thanks for your invite. What prompted you to reach out to me? I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Wisconsin, as you were. So I'm direct, but I'm nice, and I'm nice. So I'm not going to say, why did you follow me? No, but I might ask her, right? But I know her motivation. So that's a cool little thing I wanted to make sure to show you. I'm trying to watch my timing. So that's inviting, that's accepting. Oh, a post. Okay. So I have this plan with my post. That's not it. Oh, I'm just going to do it really quickly. So here, if I want to write a post, I just go here, and I would just go, thanks so much, Erica May, for inviting me to present on LinkedIn to the fine folks with, now this is, we have to go someplace else. You have 2 different district pages. We have to have a conversation, but I'll just pick that one just for yeah, tonight.
No, that's the wrong one. The other one.
We do the other one? Okay.
Yeah.
Why are there 2, Jackie?
We'll tell you about it offline.
Okay, you can tell me later. Okay. District 43. Which one should I pick? This one down here with the arrows?
Yes.
Thank you, my friend. Okay. So let's just, for now, I'll just say, also appreciate Jackie Hauser. And you know what? Are you there? Are you Jacqueline or something else? Well, I can't, maybe you're under Jacqueline. Is that you? Is that your picture, Jackie?
I think it is Jacqueline.
But we learned something. Okay. I'm gonna everyone coming tonight. I'm gonna fix this later. So okay, so I'm just gonna do this just to show post is easy, right? I'll come back and fix that up. So there's the post. And then, okay, 2 more things. I'm watching time. Let's see what other Toastmasters have to say. Heck, let's go right to the top, right? Meringue. Why not? Our international president. She probably posts about Toastmasters, wouldn't you think? Well, sure enough, she does. So you go here, and here is, we go into her show all posts. So here's a great post from her home club that she has reposted. It's brilliant. I mean, it says what Toastmasters does as well as anything. I don't know if she wrote it herself or who wrote it, but it's really, really good. So already I've gone and said it was insightful. So yeah, it's kind of like Facebook, but a few different emojis. And then I made a comment. So see, that's how you're going to get energy. That's how you're going to get more people following you, is to engage with these other people like a Meringue. And then finally, you can go, I'll just use my own district as an example, District 26 Toastmasters. Here they put up, listen to this, folks who do training, a really cool video about how to be a treasurer. I watched it twice because I'm a treasurer kind of on protest on money, and I don't necessarily do well when it comes to budget. But I offered, and I'm a good steward, so I'm learning, and I'm not like spending the money, I promise. But I watched like 2 times, and I loved it. It was so helpful. So see, I made a comment down here on this post, and I tagged my district. And within an hour, whoever manages that District 26 page, that person had liked it. So that's the kind of thing I want to see you doing, is more, just a lot of sharing of posts, of commenting on posts, reposting. It all is going to make such a difference in terms of how the kind of results you can get for you, for your club, for your district, in terms of using Toastmasters. So look at that. I got within my 25 minutes. I have practiced this presentation more than once, as you can imagine. So, and I do talk a shade fast. You can certainly put that in the chat if you want to. But this way, I got all my material covered. So this is a point where I get to go back on. So I thought I'd just take a little break and go back into my Toastmasters. And are you ready, ladies? I got to get my notes. And I've got, I have them. There they are. First off, we're doing Baselats. Okay, so, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I hope it's not too. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I don't normally do this, but I want to say how much I like that you have this scholar award that you got when it looks like you were still in, I think in Nigeria then, right? And here's these publications that you did. Excellent. I know you're in research now, so maybe you have some more publications to add. Would like to see you get a recommendation or two. But here, this is you. She's a veterinarian by background and practice. So molecular biology research totally makes sense. I like to see your mom too. Oh, shoot, I haven't shared the screen. Oh, I haven't shared the screen. Oh, that's my bad. We'll start again. I didn't get too far. Thank you for speaking up. Okay, now you can see it, people, right? I do apologize. Okay, let's start over. Okay, so here's Feustel's honors and awards from the university. Here's her very technical publication. She is in the field of research, trained as a veterinarian. There's her skills. She has more, but these are good top 2 skills. Here's some volunteering she's done. Now here we see she's has a certification or license, probably is a better word, as a veterinary surgeon from Nigeria, her home country. And her education plays out very well, very complete. We know that now she did these degrees in her home country, and now here she is at the University of Tennessee Health Sciences Center working on her PhD in biomedical sciences. Wow. So give her a lot of credit. Some things that could be improved very briefly. I'd like to see the intern be the title. You're at the veterinary teaching hospital, so that's where you could put that. Just flip these two is what I would do there. Here at capital V, and I don't know, I was English major, whatever. But up here, there's something else. Oh, see how you tell us what you do for these earlier positions, but you tell us nothing about what you've been doing for the last 2 years, Feustel. So please populate that, and then see you have Nigeria, we have Memphis, you have your location, so that's good. Now, the about is so skimpy, and I know you are not a skimpy person. You are just looking at this, you have so much to say. So tell us about why you went into veterinary medicine in the first place back in Nigeria. How it was you came to the States? Did you come for this PhD program? And up here, see, you could put, I would have veterinarian there somehow, like graduate research assistant, veterinary sciences, or because right now what it is what LinkedIn does, the default, you should all know that, is, I guess maybe yours is a little different, but it'll take your title down here and just throw it up here. I love your picture. It's perfect. This space, you could have something in there, whatever would feel appropriate. Could be a research lab, maybe not actual animals, because you're not, a clinical practice type of veterinarian. Those are my quick thoughts for Feustel, who, by the way, all brave of all these ladies. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do it. So now we're going to switch to Mona. Hopefully we'll get over to her. There we go. Can people see Mona? Can we get a heads up on her? Beautiful water. I mean, oh my gosh, I just want to, wherever that is, I want to know, Mona, because that is so beautiful. And your picture is very striking. I like that. I like that you have your academic credentials. Perfect. What I wonder is, what is L&D? Is that like maybe learning and development facilitator? Here's a kind of a general point. Avoid jargon, avoid acronyms, certainly avoid like Toastmaster acronyms, but you want to have terms that everybody could know. I like that you list myths. What else do I like here? Well, this whole generally, that's good. You could have possibly a little longer. Now, here's an issue, I think. This is the company run, right? Mona's on now, but all you have is the logo, so it really doesn't tell me anything. So I think you should reconstruct this. I could help you if you had a question. I'm impressed you have over 2,000 followers at least. Now, this is good. Oops, let me get out of here. In general, this is a good about. I mean, it tells quite a bit about yourself, but I want a little more of the why, kind of the human side. This is kind of, when you say passion, successfully guided, I want just a little more of the juice in this somehow. Because this is very a big deal to go off on your own after being in corporate world for some time. You don't necessarily need to put all this Six Sigma, masters that, because you have it lower. But maybe in your world, they expect to have these kind of credentials in the about. So I hesitate to get too hard on you there. You could throw in a testimonial or two, perhaps. Your website at the end, there's no call to action. So those are quick thoughts. Down here, this is, a good overview, but I think it could be longer. Maybe give us a couple of sample clients you've worked with, not to name them and give away private information, but paint a bit of a picture. Who are these community-based and business organizations? Just speak broadly about them. I like that you have your skills associated. You've done that throughout. To me, this is a little long, but again, maybe that's the expectation in the field that you're in. So I do hesitate to get too hard on you there, but it kind of overwhelms me. If there was a way you kind of break it up into sections, maybe that would help. And you kind of do that throughout here. So that's your style of doing it. I like your degrees, very clear. Maybe add a few more, since you can add one skill. Maybe you want to add 3 or 4 more. Project Six Sigma, excellent. Microsoft Excel, oh my gosh, Mona, you are so much more. This is a lower level skill, I would think. No, needs assessment, that's higher. But let's have something more specific to the work you do. Maybe you just recently added that because you're looking for a job as well as running your own business. Oh, they need Excel there. So I just say, just switch it around, like I showed you how to do that. Excellent. Look at how October 2nd, that's just like recently. So very good to have such a recent recommendation. This is excellent. These are wonderful. 22, that's more than the average bear than I've seen. Courses, I'm kind of mixed on this. I think usually you just see them listed individually. Typically this section is professional development courses, not necessarily, but that's how I see it. And here, one final thing, tell us who these, I think that's Association for Training and Development, right? But don't just use the acronym. Going back to that point, spell it out, tell us what it means, tell us if you have a role or, what it's for. So, okay, so that's Mona. And overall, that's just really good. Now we're
going to jump in right quick. I have a quick question since you're taking.
Oh, please do. Is that Mona? Go ahead.
This is Mona. Thank you so much. The issue with this one is that I'm in transition, and maybe you can answer this question.
Yeah, go for it.
And so my LinkedIn profile is underway. It's being changed, but I'm in transition and I am looking for a job, and I do want to still maintain my consultancy. So I'm struggling with how to balance.
It's such a tricky place to be.
Yeah, and I always feel like I need 2 profiles, but
no, don't ever do that. That confuses the hell out of people.
Right.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
But it's a sticky wicket. It's a tough one. It's challenging. So you have to be a bit nuanced. But we could do like a 10, 15 minute Zoom call or something. Come up with something.
Okay.
Yeah. Michelle Marshall, I love that picture. Somebody just look really sweet and friendly. Up here I feel like you're missing an opportunity. There's a lot of space. Maybe something to do with higher education, since you've worked in it for so much. I like this and I don't. I mean, it's nice you tell us really essentially what you're doing. What's your subject matter expertise? But if you were looking for a job like Mona, then I would have it more broken down into terms, more search engine optimization kind of terms. That's my suggestion. You are missing a little bit here that I'm honored that you've asked me to help you, because there's things I just want to mention for you to look at. One of them is there is no about section. So you've seen a couple examples now of other people's abouts. Mona's is, she's got a good start there. It's got a lot in it. So just look around at other people who do what you do. And here you have your position. You say it's University of Arkansas, Pulaski, but tell us the city this one's in, and tell us about it. Tell us a little bit about this Pulaski Technical College. Tell us a little bit about Philander Smith College. These are not household, it's not like you went to Harvard or something where we'd have heard of it. So tell us a little bit about it and what your role has been there and is in this one and was for these 7 years. But I think that gives just a little more robustness to your profile. These great degrees. So you got your bachelor's, your master's. I love that you have DEI in here. Actually, it leads me to a tiny bit about posting, which I didn't really go into that much. I think in general, it's better not to get, I would call it strident, for lack of a better word, on LinkedIn. But if you live and breathe DEI, post about it, own it. And if somebody gets all pissy, excuse my language, but gets negative about this, you don't need to be connected with that person. You need to be polite. Maybe they'll still say connected, but I say when you've had this kind of training, you bring so much. So I think mostly with you, Michelle, I would just work with maybe some colleagues of yours, others you know, so that I just feel like there's so much of Michelle that's maybe not quite peeking out yet. So I want to see that happen. Now, Ruby, you just look like so much fun. So I really love this. I love this band. It's a great picture. Okay, here are a few issues. NFL, I mean, not the National Football League, right? Make sure this is crystal clear what you're doing. Now you have all this down in here. Maybe have some of these words be up in your LinkedIn profile headline. Also, where is Lee, Florida? This is not probably a major metropolitan center, so put the closest one in there. And there, right, this is great. See, she's got her creator mode enabled. That's how come we see this. So go you. Now this is so skipping. And Ruby, you have such interesting life. And you know where you're about already written for yourself? Watch this, man. Right here. See, all this in here, that's an about. That's where you put it. You just put it in a place that it doesn't really fit so well. So you take this information and put it up there and about. And, again, I'd help you with this if you want to send me your version. And I don't go into the third person voice. No, dear. If there's anybody, it has to have kind of a personal, I want to say intimate isn't quite the word I want, but it has to be friendly and accessible. It's a realtor, for Christ's sake, because they have to meet people right where they are, make big decisions. So you don't want to sound like you're writing your own press release here. But this is confusing, my dear. You have American Dream, you have American Dream. So it's just a little bit confusing. And I'll be just very direct. I wouldn't go all the way back to 66. Heck, I was a junior in high school then. So man, how could you possibly be that old to be able to do something? And then I'm not big on swear words or even capitalization. So I'm like, oh, swear, capitalization, all in one place. Just suggest you remove that, please. And this is good. You have your real estate school, your Institute for Integrative Nutrition. That's cool. You're a certified health coach. That's impressive. But where is your real estate license, Ruby? So you need that as well, too. Skills, if real estate is your main jam, then I would put that at least one of these should probably be real estate. And recommendations, let's see, you get one, causes. The one thing you're missing is maybe organizations. Nobody listed Toastmasters, folks. Good thing you're here at this class. You want to add Toastmasters under organizations, possibly under volunteering as well. So I believe I've gotten through everybody, and I hope that was kind enough and not too mean, like my husband said I would be. So, okay, now we're going to have a break. Is that right?
Yes, we're going to have a raffle. We're going to raffle a backpack. And after we raffle the backpack, we will go into the Q&A segment. Okay, so and we do see the questions in the chat. So we already have questions in the chat. And if you have any questions, continue to drop them in the chat and we do see them. So Toastmaster District Director Hauser, she's going to come on and we're raffling off this backpack to a District 43 member. And you must be present to win. So when the wheel stops and we call your name, come off mute and say, I'm here, send me my backpack.
All right, are we ready, District 43?
Yes.
Ready.
We're ready.
Here we go.
Ready.
Hey, my
We're
name.
ready.
Anna.
Is Anna here?
Zang. Is Anna here? Anna is not here. I don't think Anna is here. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Barry. Is Barry here?
I do not see Barry.
Okay, let's try one more time.
Okay.
Vince.
I am here. Send me my backpack.
Yes, we got you. So congratulations, Vince, on winning the backpack. Before we start the Q&A, I want to let you know at the end of this training, we will raffle off a free 1-hour LinkedIn training with Joyce. But what we want to do is make sure that it's someone that wants it and is going to take advantage of it. So if you know, hey, I'm not really going to do anything with my profile, we want you to, we want the people that actually want this. So 1, you have to be a District 43 member. And then 2, you already have to have a LinkedIn profile. And 3, we're asking someone who at least checks their profile at least once a week. So if you want to be entered into the drawing for what's happening at the end of the meeting, send a private message to Toastmaster Jackie Hauser, our district director. Send her a private message saying, please put me on the wheel for the LinkedIn training, and we will announce the winner at the end of the session. And Joyce, will you tell us what the training entails so people will know if they want to put
let me do that right now really quickly so what happens in this hour is I'll be as efficient as I can, but usually I spend most of the time on your profile. But let's say your profile is in pretty good shape, then I could also give you tips about posting, about engaging with other people's posts, about searching, say like Mona was talking about maybe looking for a job. How could she find informational interview possibilities? So that's the kind of thing. But typically in an hour, the primary thing would be the kind of stuff I just did for those 4 ladies. Give them a critique, and we can make some changes right in real time even.
Okay, awesome. Okay, now we'll move to the Q&A. And the first question we have is from our Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Dr. Maddox. She said, would you give an example of a recommendation for search engine optimization for her profile as it relates to Michelle Marshall? So like you said, you wanted to see something SEO in her heading. What would you recommend?
Oh, for Michelle Marshall?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Michelle, I would have something related to like career coach, higher education, like administrator, almost like job titles for the most part, or functions that you've had, especially at those 7 years at that Plander Smith. Look for, like, in your job descriptions, what would you say? So, and would it be like, say, small liberal arts colleges, it is historically Black college at HBC. So you could describe the kind of college too, that type of academic environment you were in. Say like a big university, like University of Wisconsin, where I'm from, or University of Tennessee, that's a very different experience than it is on like where my daughter Annie went, or my Jane went to Oberlin, and my other daughter went to Cornell College, not the university. So they're very, very small liberal arts colleges.
Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay. And then the second is more like a question, would like more tips on representing both a business and a corporate position.
Well, if you're doing them at the same time, or it doesn't really matter. So corporate, typically your the experience part is straightforward because you have a job description. So you take the information from the job description and put it in there, or from your resume from previous jobs. I think you want to explain what the corporation does, and so people know, like, where were you in the chain of command? Also, sometimes people will have advanced within that company and they've mushed everything into one position. But then make sure, if you've had advancements, that you add them as separate positions, and make sure that each position where one ends, the other starts, and that little gray bar will come down with those little gray sort of circles to show that advancement within the company. And then as far as if you have your own business, then in there you want to talk about your why, especially like, I felt there was a need for, X, Y, Z to happen, and that's why I started this business. And here are people that really have really appreciated my services. So I think that language can be almost a little, I would say, casual, a little more informal, where the other one would be a little more proper and formal and kind of corporate speak, for lack of a better term. And then up there in the headline, especially if you're doing these at the same time, it's kind of a bifurcated, you'd use words from both worlds in there. And in the about, you'd almost have to do that too. It's not easy when you're coexisting, when you're doing both corporate and having, I'll call it the side hustle, if you will, of your own business. But if I'd be happy. Anybody is on this call. If they want to send me a resume and their about section, it takes me about 10 or 15 minutes and I can get through it and I'll give you some feedback.
Okay, awesome. I think I got to all of the questions in the, okay, well, one more we got. Okay, the questions are coming in. The questions, what's an optimal number?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's an optimal number of references, testimonials to aim for?
I would say at least a couple, 2 or maybe 3 for your current position and your 2 most recent positions. So okay. I would say minimum of say 6 or 7 recommendations. Okay. Total, yeah.
Where does a person go to change a title that is already listed? I tried to change it, but it would not.
Well, whenever you want to edit something, I feel like I should pop back in there, but you go to the pencil to the right of, say if it's experience, and you want to change a title with an experience, there's a pencil to the right of the word experience. Then there's a pencil to the right of the title. And that's where you can go in and you can edit the title. You have up to 100 characters for a title. And frankly, I think you can in LinkedIn elaborate on a title differently than say resume. So resume, you were the administrative assistant, it's probably what you should have. But a lot of administrative assistants do a lot more than kind of what you picture. Maybe you were the social media manager, you did other things. So you can have those also with maybe like an up and down separator or something to separate them out in the title.
Okay. Would anyone like to come off mute and ask a question or give comments?
This was spectacular. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You wasn't harsh at all. I appreciate the feedback.
I'm just curious because I want to know more about you. It sounds like it's such an interesting career you've been in. Oh, Nancy has a question? And
yes, I do. I'm retired and I'm a volunteer. And my goal is to be a coach for parents in helping their children in reading. Oh. Is there a place for me on LinkedIn? I mean, I have a LinkedIn register, but would that be a place for me to add to my LinkedIn information?
Yes, absolutely. For example, you in your experience section, would you say, are you doing this as a volunteer, Nancy, or do you have a little like paid business?
No, we have a program here, Our Kids Read,
right,
for Arkansas readers. And I've been tutoring for years, second graders. And those who progress. So yes, I'm doing it as a volunteer.
Perfect. Well, you put that in. You don't have to say in that one field that you're volunteer. I don't think you need it, but I would say you'd have the title would be volunteer second grade tutor or something. And then you'd have the entity, you would just describe the name of it and the city where it's in. And then you would describe basically what is this program, A, and then B, what is your role as a volunteer tutor?
Great. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
You can also put it in volunteering too, but you can put it in both places. It'll get more play up there in experience.
Okay, thank you.
Good. And Leslie, did you have a question?
No, I didn't have a question. I just had a comment that I think you did an excellent job that, and especially for seniors, I'm in that category now. And I'll tell you, it is so hard to go and do things, and I hadn't touched my LinkedIn in a while, but you have sparked me now to go on there and to really, really spruce this thing up and move it forward. So I appreciate what you did tonight. Thank you.
That's such good feedback. I have a member of one of my advanced clubs, where you have to have the level 2 or the old CTM. And I'm almost 75. I think she's close to 77. And she said, Joyce, I need to be on LinkedIn. She was a school teacher. She never needed LinkedIn. So I donated my 2-hour package for seniors. That's $190. I donated to my friend Nancy so that she could have a LinkedIn profile and really starting to rock it. So really any of us could be on LinkedIn, no matter what our age is, as long as we're on this side of the dirt and being involved and contributing, it has a place for just about everybody.
Okay. Thank you. As we prepare for the raffle, I want to encourage everyone to take the survey. I just dropped it in the link. I want to thank our presenter and everyone that participated. Now, this is just the first training. And on the survey, it's asking you what topics do you want us to cover next. So based on what you say in the survey, what you're interested in, that is what kind of training we will have. Also, if you're an expert in any kind of subject from these topics, you can submit to be a speaker at one of these events. And let me ask, Jackie, are you ready to come back on, or you need some more time? I can do some announcements.
You can go ahead and do announcements, but if there is anyone here that has a LinkedIn page and would like to be included in the drawing, do not forget to send me a private message so I can get you loaded on the wheel.
Okay, yes, send her the private message. And also, I forgot to say, drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat if you're open to connections.
Oh, yeah.
If you connections, put your LinkedIn in the chat and we can connect with each other. If you know someone in this group and you can attest to something that they've done, give them an endorsement. You can endorse me for public relations and training. I would appreciate it. I'll drop my LinkedIn profile in the chat. Connect you. I'm open for connections, and drop your link. I would love to connect with you all. And let me give some announcements while she is getting the wheel together. My goal was to have 30 attendees. We wanted to have 30 attendees online, and we have more than 30. So again, I want to thank you for coming out. Again, the next topic will be chosen based on what you say on the survey. District 43, you came out on this Monday, and we want you back next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is Members Matter. We have that every month. That's our monthly meetup. And next Tuesday, the topic is making Toastmasters a family affair. And Toastmaster Nancy Robinson-Lott, she's on the call. She's one of the speakers. And we're going to be speaking about how some people participate in Toastmasters with their family and how it's bringing families closer together. So we want you all to come out to Members Matter. Also, the Fall Summit is November the 11th in Jackson, Mississippi. All of this information is available on our website. We're having a 2021 World Champion and Public Speaker, Verity Price. She'll be there. We'll have professional headshots. So like Joyce said, you need a professional headshot. You need a nice headshot. If you need one for your LinkedIn, you can get it at the summit. And I'll also be speaking on, my topic is social media, the good, the bad, and the ugly. See, today we talked about the good, LinkedIn, and what it can be used for. But there's also a bad and the ugly side of social media. And we'll get into that at the summit. If you are not a member of Toastmasters and you're on this call and you would like more information about Toastmasters, you can also drop that in the chat and we'll get that information out to you. Or you can visit our website at d43toastmasters.org and reach out to us. And now I'll hand it back over to our district director to do the drawing for the training and to close us out.
All right. Here we go. I am going to share my screen, and one lucky winner will win a session with Joyce. Are we ready?
Yes.
All righty. Here we go.
Wow.
The Robinson.
Wow.
The winner is Nancy Robinson-Lott. Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
The volunteer, the tutor. Oh my God, Nancy, this is so awesome.
All right. Well, District 43 and guests, if you would, you can come off of mute and give Joyce a hand. Give the PR manager, Erica, a hand for this great event here tonight. This is the first of many. We are looking forward to many, many, many more. Thank you so much for spending your Monday evening, 1 hour of your Monday evening. It seemed like it was that we had a really good time. We learned a lot in this 1 hour. We got a lot covered in this 1 hour. So thank you for sharing this time with us. Thank you, Joyce. We hope to see you here again.
I'll be back if you want me.
Again, feel free to come back to any of our events and tell
Yeah, your summit sounds awesome. Yeah.
And all over the world and your LinkedIn page about our events that are coming up. We would love for you to share that for us. Yes. District 43 and guests, to our guests, thank you for coming to District 43 and sharing with us tonight. We would love for you to come back and be a part of our events. Sign up for our events. Come on back. We would like to see you. With that, it is 7:59. We will give you 1 minute of your time that we promised you. Thank you. Thank you.
Make sure you take the survey. Please do not leave without taking the survey. That's
Yes,
what
please take the survey.
so we can have that.
Yes, please take the survey. Thank you all.
And by the way, those 4 ladies who I helped, I would certainly be happy to spend 15, 20 minutes with you. You reach out, please. All 4 of you, Mona, Michelle, everybody, Ruby, Pamela. I got to put the first name. At any rate.
Thank you so much for your help, and I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Great.
It was wonderful. Bye,
Great
everybody.
training. Great training. Loved it.
I'm going to
Loved it.
stay on and talk to you, Jackie, just for